Were the cracks at Mascot Tower known and ignored? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, I'm Florian Heiser and welcome to another episode of Heiser Says. It's a relaxing Sunday afternoon here in Brisbane. I've got my stein of coffee, and to avoid doing any housework, I thought I'd make a video about Mascot Towers. So, I've been trying to find a bit more information about the project, and I found these images just of the tower when it was completed. So, I mean, it looks reasonable as a multi-story mixed-use development with retail down the bottom, residential up the top. Nothing too surprising here. It seems very typical, you know? It's a nice style. I don't know if I would, if I'd like to live in it myself. I don't know. I grew up with a backyard and a front yard as a kid, and I kind of want that for my children. Maybe that's just how old-fashioned I am. I've been trying to find some plans for Mascot Towers, and all I've managed to get has just been, clips from real estate websites. Looking at, this is Unit 32 here. You got a dining area, a lounge with a nice balcony. Doesn't have any cross ventilation. Oh, it does. Does it? This one is. It's got cross ventilation, so you can open a window here and here. So that'd be good. You get some ventilation through there. Bedroom doesn't though, which is a bit of a shame. But I mean, what did they say? These were going for like $700,000 or something insane for these little one-bedders. Here's another plan, and this here is in the bottom, and down here, I'm not sure. Level 2 to 9 floor plan. It's showing here that just the layout of the site to kind of get a feel about it. Here you got your two little bedrooms here. You got a ensuite with a walk-in robe. Yeah, a little study nook there. That's a good idea, making use of some dead space. Kitchen, dining, and a big balcony here. So, not a bad plan. A nice dense plan. You want to get ventilation through either side, but it's really hard to achieve in these type of buildings. It's really hard to achieve just because of the fire separation you need between the different units and these type of things. So, why am I saying that there's a potential that the cracks were known? Now, I was doing a bit more digging, trying to find stuff, and I stumbled across this comment. This comment here by Leslie J. Kennedy, and they made this public comment, so I thought I'd share it with you all. They've given a 1-star review, and as an ex-owner and attendee at all of the Strata Committee meetings, I know these cracks and issues were there long before now. Since year two, there were huge cracks above where my car was parked, spanning the entire level. These were brought to the committee's attention numerous times, whilst the building was under warranty. Well, 2 years? Oh, that's not in the defects liability period, but it could have been addressed. Depends. I don't know how the building was procured or what the contract was made. You can make a defects liability period of whatever you want under the contract. The developer can do that. That's a question to ask when you're shopping around, But anyway, many problems existed before today. One would hope the committee has this documented, but it's too late now. So, I mean, we can't verify this. I tried to find some information about this person, but I haven't been able to. I'm assuming that if they were on the Strata Committee and these were mentioned at various minutes in the meetings, it would be minuted. So the organisation that manages the Strata and takes the minutes of the body corporate meetings or the Strata meetings would have recorded all of this, or should have. Have you ever been on a committee meeting where they've been really sloppy with the minutes? This is why they can't be. So let's assume that Leslie here, Mr. Kennedy, is in all good faith sharing this legitimately, and says that there were some cracks identified in the past as a former owner, and they weren't rectified. What does that have to say about the whole situation now? Is it also got more to do with maybe the body corporate or the Strata? Because I know there's a lot of people concerned that the Strata management companies are in cahoots with a lot of the developers. So, I think a possum just landed on my roof. So I've been trying to find some more plans. And let's have a look at 2 other documents here. And this is a information that was shared to all of the residents' occupants. So, dear owners, agents, and residents, Strata Plan number 80877, Mascot Towers, 15 Burke Street, Mascot, urgent car park propping to secure the building structure. Now, this was released 5 days ago. You will have noticed the installation of temporary building props in the car park installed today. Temporary propping was initially planned in relation to repairing the building's slip joint defect. However, the propping has been brought forward at the recommendation of the building's engineer. So, were they already looking at repairing some issues? This is in response to an ongoing and persistent cracking and structural deformation observed within the primary support structure and the facade masonry. This deterioration has been rapid, hence expedited propping was deemed a necessary precaution to ensure the safety of the building and its occupants. The propping is intended to support the building and to halt any further deterioration. However, the engineer has raised a possibility that the building may need to be at least partially evacuated. So now, a week later after this was issued, the building several weeks after, the building was evacuated. The cracking has continued to get worse. If this occurs, it will be on short notice. Yeah, I think they only have one hour notice or something insane. And one guy even got locked in the building. Furthermore, if this occurs, it will be unknown when occupants are permitted to return to their units. Unknown. I mean, think about this. This is the marketing images. This is from the architect's website that he put up there. So even, let's just theory craft a bit. What if there was some issues in the building, some minor issues, that resulted in some cracking, maybe some concrete cancer, I don't know, some joint damage that built up over time, but due to neglect and lack of maintenance, because, if they've been advised of it, then it's taken 10 years' time to really get bad. What do you reckon? What do you think? I mean, this is really messy, guys. This is really messy. So, let's get back to this letter. As a precaution, residents may wish to take the opportunity to remove any sentimental and valuable items, including vehicles, and store park them in another location. Above all, building management, strata management, and the building's engineer and the strata committee are working to ensure the building's safety. I was talking to Rachel about this. I mean, I work from home. I've recently declouded my data store. I've got 3 servers sitting here, and I've got remote backup or physical backup that I can carry around with me and remove around. But I've stopped paying money to Microsoft. So say I was woken up with an alarm and just went out and didn't even think to carry my data with me. Then I couldn't get back. I couldn't get back in to get my work. I couldn't get back to do anything. So this is showing me an argument against on-site storage. I think I need to get a server set up at my mother's house again so I can take the disk down there and just do a copy. Because, I mean, you'd be screwed because they haven't let people back in. So, there we go. Sorry, guys, I clicked the wrong button there for a second. So let's have a look at this article as well. This is from the extraordinary general meeting of the owners for Strata Plan number 80877 that they had recently. So an extraordinary general meeting of the owners, Strata Plan number 80877, will be held on Thursday the 20th of June 2019 in the Charles Kingsford Smith Hudson Fish Room, the Holiday Inn Sydney Airport. Okay, owners are required to bring photo ID for meeting registration and attendance. The agenda for the meeting is minutes. The minutes of the extraordinary general meeting of the Owners Corporation held on the 9th of April will be confirmed as true record and account of the proceedings of the meeting. So they're going to review the minutes, an update on the current situation, that an update will be provided to owners in relation to the evacuation of the building on the 14th of June 2019. I mean, wouldn't you hate to be on this committee having to deal with this stuff? I mean, I just know when we've dealt with these committees in regards to professional work, there's been a lot of effort to deal with the different characters on there. So here's the big thing. Here is the big thing that's hit the news. Special levy. funding slip joint defects, additional costs including emergency propping, engineering, legal, administrative, plus other. So that the owners of Strata Plan number 808777 ordinary resolves in accordance with Section 80, Clause 4 of the Strata Schemes Management Act 2005, that it is faced with expenses it cannot at once meet from either its administrative and capital works fund, and determines that an additional levy for the sum of $1 million plus GST be raised and payable to the administrative fund. The additional levy is to be due and payable on the 1st of August 2019, and the Treasurer is authorised to serve written notice of such levy on each person liable to pay it. So here's an explanatory memorandum. Due to the recent evacuation of residents from their apartments, the Owners Corporation is required to perform urgent repair and maintenance to ensure the complex is safe and secure for all residents to return to their homes. The purpose of the additional contribution is to fund the necessary works required, including consulting fees. Well, there you go. $1 million they need to pull out. I think that's about 10 grand per person, and it varies depending on how much they have to contribute. But could you just imagine when do they have to pay it by? 1st of August. So June, July. They got a month to pull together 10 grand, which for some people can't be that easy. Pulling together 10 grand in a month, maybe they'll have to sell some of their Bitcoin. But let's have a look. The government, now the state government, is proposing to respond to this, to provide emergency relief. So I'll just zoom in here so we'll have a look at this. This is an article from the Sydney Morning Herald by Megan and Laura, and we'll go through it here. So the New South Wales government is exploring options to deliver an unprecedented emergency relief package for residents forced to evacuate the troubled Mascot Towers apartment block. The Herald understands the package would aim to provide temporary accommodation for owners and tenants who fled the 132-unit block in Sydney's inner south due to building cracks last Friday. Now, if they knew about it, if they knew about the cracks and the Strata Committee ignored it, would they be liable for it? Would they be negligent for it? If this is proven correct, if we go through the minutes, you tell me what you think, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Should they be negligent for it? Would anyone then be willing to sit on one of these committees if you could be held negligent for any of this stuff? So, Premier Gladys Gladys B, I'll get it one day, defended her decision not to attend Thursday night's residents' meeting when owners voted overwhelmingly in favour of a $1 million special levy to fund urgent repairs. It's not a job of a premier to attend every single Strata meeting, she said. The job of a premier is to make sure that all parties are held accountable. Yeah, no, I don't think it would be appropriate for her to attend that meeting. It would have been terrible optics. Terrible optics. Residents of the Burke Street block are expected to be out of their homes for at least a month as engineers scramble to determine the cause of cracks to the decade-old building. The damage to the building, which continued to show signs of increased cracking on Friday, has prompted potential buyers to make offers as low as $1,000 on units, according to real estate agents. Well, yeah, one apartment listed in Mascot Towers was withdrawn when buyers started to make lowball offers on the unit, which had a price guide of $750 to $770. Oh, was that a one-bedroom apartment like $750 grand? Can that be right? Can that be right? It can't be right, can it? It cannot be right. Let me find this data I have here. Well, yeah, we're looking at what? Sydney units. Whoa, okay, 705 median sale price. Okay, maybe it can be right. It's insane. It is insane, isn't it, guys? Wow. So we had a lot of ridiculous offers, but we take those with a grain of salt. MGM Properties, Michael Zanis said we'd have offers as little as 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. Well, if you have to pay What, another 10 grand levy here, another 50 grand levy, another 100 grand levy? What can you expect? Maybe people are desperate. Maybe they want to get out of it so bad they don't want to take the risk of paying the levy. So another one-bedroom apartment in the south was still... Whoa! Okay, no. So yes, that for 100 grand, $750,000. I mean, yeah, okay, it's not worth that, guys. There's not that much material in there. Seriously, don't fall for it. And its selling agent Robert Leslie of Pure Property Agency Sydney said inquiries had gone through the roof. Yeah, well, of course they'd gone through the roof. People are probably trolling you, mate. I haven't received any firm offers, but people are asking what sort of discount they can expect. Well, yeah, exactly. Maybe 200-300 grand. Oh, bloody hell. I feel sorry for these people. Mascot Tower's apartment owner Brian Tucker said he left Thursday night's meeting that the owners had no choice really but to vote in favour of the special levy. Well, no, you're right, you didn't. He said it would cost him between $13,000 and $14,000. Other owners have said they faced a contribution of about $8,000, but residents fear repair costs could climb above $5 million. We have to do something, otherwise nothing gets done, Mr. Tucker said. There are immediate building works that need to get done to make it happen. Another owner who did not want to be named said there were multiple people on the verge of bankruptcy. Shit. There are multiple people on the verge of nervous breakdowns because it's ridiculous. The Big Four banks have also offered mortgage payment relief and financial assistance to residents. Well, that's good. That's good. You know, ANZ will offer breaks on interest repayments and NAB will offer home loan payment relief for up to 6 months' time. Good marketing, good response. A Commonwealth Bank spokesman said the bank would offer appropriate financial assistance solutions based on residents' unique circumstances. Westpac customers might be able to apply for deferred repayments to home loans and credit cards, and customers with home and contents insurance could be eligible for emergency accommodation assistance. Okay, that's interesting. I need to have a talk to my broker friend to learn a bit more about that, because if their home insurance kicks in, that'd be fantastic. The Premier on Friday said the government will hold everybody to account, including those who should have done a better job. Clearly there's been a failure here, and those who need to be held to account will be held to account. Well, Premier, what about the suggestions made in the Shergold-Weir report? I think it's probably time to have a look at that in greater detail, maybe implement some of it. Now, I remember reading a post on LinkedIn from the author of one of the online outsourcing mobs. I can't remember the name. I've used them before. And I'll remember after I finish recording this video. But nevertheless, he made an interesting point that a significant portion of Australia's GDP is located in one corridor near Sydney in all the property development there. Okay? And look at what we're seeing happening here. Look at the problems that we're seeing appearing here. So how much of our GDP was invested from the mining infrastructure in buildings that are full of cracks, falling down, and aren't fit for purpose? Let me know what you think about that. Your opinion about that is. You reckon a lot? I'm losing confidence. I really am losing confidence. Anyway, Labor's Better Regulation spokeswoman, Yasmin Catley, said the government's proposed building industry reforms were a start, but she said they needed to be an audit of apartment developments. Oh, boy. And then, okay, so they'll do an audit, just like they did in Victoria and through the rest of Australia, about all the fire cladding, and they won't release it because they're too scared to, because they'll cause fear, or they'll reduce the value of people's properties. I can see that happening. I can. Can you? I mean, how... Oh. See, I'm glad I live in a 100-year-old house where I can see a lot of the structural damage. I got it cheap because it's fallen over. You know, I've got no issue with that. I put props under my house to keep it moving down. Just saving up the money to do the foundations bit by bit. Oh boy. But see, the thing is with a small little house like this, or even the townhouse that we got my mother in, she's glad because she was looking at apartments like this. She knew she wanted to put an offer on a 1-bedroom one on the spot because she liked the cafes and said, no. They can look at this. The tiles are popping there. There's a paint issue there. You have to pay. And they're renting it out on holidays to tourists. You don't want to be around tourists. And she's happy now that she didn't. But it depends on the complexity of construction. I mean, my little Queensland house, sure, I'll get an engineer, but it's not going to be as complex as the engineering in, a building like this. Definitely not. So we'll get back here to the article. This is happening way too often. Everyone's just keeping their fingers crossed. There's nothing going to be another. There's not going to be another one. That's not a good approach. Now, I should remind you that I have hit 5,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. And I'm planning to do a 5,000 subscriber special thank you episode where we'll have a bit. I'll do this live stream next week, and we'll go through a lot of just examples people have been sending me in of dodgy construction and in apartments. And please, I'll keep it anonymous. And I won't share the location. If you have any, email them to me. Send them to my email or my Facebook, and you can get featured in there. Because, there are more. There are more. People are sending me some dodgy stuff. Some stuff that isn't too bad, but some stuff that's scary. So on Friday afternoon, a spokesman for the Mascot Towers Owners Corporation said the beams in the southern part of the basement continued to show signs of increased cracking, and groundwater was still seeping within the basement. But the spokesman said the safety risk had been downgraded in the worst affected parts of the building, which meant residents who had been unable to briefly return home to collect their belongings were granted a temporary access from this weekend. The Owners Corporation's engineer attended site today and inspected the installed monitoring equipment and visual cracking in the basement, the spokesman said. He has advised that the area where the props had been installed is to change status from red, unacceptable risk, to orange, managed risk, the update said. The owners of apartments in the building will attend another meeting for updated advice from engineers next Thursday. So, wow. What do you all think, guys? Do you think that the comment I found was accurate? What do you reckon will happen if we discover that the cracking was reported, or significant cracking was reported years ago and not acted upon? Can you imagine it just be patch job? Could just be a patch job. Or maybe it's not relevant to this. Or maybe it was a sign of what was to come. I mean, we saw the images the other day of the flooding going over the building here at Mascot Towers. And I'll bring that up here. Oh, wait. Sorry. Wrong project. That's the bridge collapse in Perth. Where is it? Okay, I can't bring it up. It's gone missing. So let's have a look at the footage. This is from a previous video I found. I couldn't find the clip anymore. But you can see here just the water flowing right over the area there at Mascot Towers. So they've got issues. There's precedent there. There's definitely precedent. So, there we go. I'm worried about the fire cladding. Yeah, well, I guess there's no one sleeping in balconies there, so that should be fine. But, so if the cracks have been reported in the past, if there have been issues there with water, let me know what you think, guys. Do you think this is an ongoing issue? Are we going to see the end of it? I don't know. I think we need to be vigilant. I think if you're looking at buying any of these apartments, you need to ask for the strata meeting minutes. You need to go through them yourself. You don't need to trust your lawyer who's doing it conveyancing. They won't go through it in that detail, particularly if you pay them $500. If you're paying for a cheap lawyer, they will not go through it in that great detail. You need to do it yourself as well and question, and then ask. Ask what? Has this been dealt with? What's going on here? Are there any extraordinary levies that are foreseen? Just ask. It can't hurt. Remember, right now is a buyer's market, guys. A buyer's market. Anyway, thank you all for joining me for this episode of Heiser Says. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ding the bell to see my daily updates, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. Bye for now.